It's time for a Primark haul. Now, I know what you're thinking. Atlas, what the heck are you doing? This isn't a fashion channel, this is a book channel. Have you completely lost your marbles? Not yet, but almost. I went to Primark, Waterstones, and I saw Dune Part 2 in one day. It was amazing. It was so good, the entire experience, not just Dune, but Primark and Waterstones in the same day. So
I had to talk about it, like I had no choice. I mean, that kind of thing only happens once in a lifetime, so
here we are. I'm going to show you very briefly the stuff that I got in Primark, and I'm going to talk to you about when I went to Waterstones, and I'm also going to talk to you about my thoughts of Dune Part 2. So let's get into it. I just want you to know, as a disclaimer, I didn't get much in Primark because I'm scared, but I did get stuff that I needed, and also I need you to be aware this is not summer clothes, okay? I do anticipate possibly buying some summer clothes, but you're not going to see that on this channel because the only reason I'm showing this is because I went to Waterstones, saw June, had to talk about it anyway. So the first thing that stood out to me was this amazing sweatshirt. I'm hoping you can see it because it's so big it's covering my face. It is a Death Leopard sweatshirt and it's amazing. I've been waiting to wear this because I wanted to film and show you it first, like with the tag on. This was £18. I'm gonna have like links all down below for the stuff that I bought, although one of the items I got on reduced sale, so you're probably not going to see it, but I'll see if I can find it. Anyway, sweatshirt is so cool, and it is actually an official Death Leopard sweatshirt, so it's not Primark, it's a proper one. This is probably now like the coolest jumper that I own. Baggy jumpers, baggy hoodies are like my favourite thing. I only have one baggy hoodie, which is a crime, but it's my Pepsi one. Like, I think I was wearing it in my last video. It's like I think it's probably like a Korean knockoff Pepsi hoodie, but I love it because no one else has anything like it. Got this, amazing. This is entirely empty, by the way, this was just for show. And the next thing I saw this and I fell in love. This is like a dusty pink body warmer. It's so nice. And also the zip right here is like a kind of soft touch. I opened it up, had a look, and it's just so nice, and it's warm, it's toasty. Also, it matches my earphones and also a hat that I have. I'm gonna show you like the outfit that I had in mind. Again, completely not summer related, but in my mind it's winter and fall all the time. So,
don't argue with me.
This also says that it was made from recycled polyester, which is so cool. This is a size medium and I got it for £10 in reduced, which is amazing. So the main reason I needed to go to Primark was because I have a lot of holy socks. Not holy as in like, but holy as in they have literal holes in them.
I'm pretty sure I didn't need to explain that.
I picked up 2 packets of socks. I guess you call them packets. In total I bought 6 pairs. One of them I've already worn and is in the wash, so I can't show you, but I got these Lilo and Stitch ones. Lilo and Stitch. So cute. And the other pair is grey because it came in a pack of 3. So sweet. I'm a size 4, by the way. And they're just so sweet. I don't like getting plain socks. I'm like, why get plain and boring when you can get patterned and not boring? So yeah. Also got these Grogu Star Wars socks. So cool, love them. Because I want to get more Star Wars merch and Star Trek merch and Marvel merch because I love all of that. That's like my favourite.
Source of entertainment, I love it all.
I got those. Absolutely love them. I also got a packet of underwear, and it's really soft, really nice. I'll put like a little picture hopefully of like the specific packet that I bought. It's so cheap, so worth your money.
I can't quite remember how.
Oh yeah. So the pack of 3, the Lilo and Stitch socks, was £4.50, and also these socks, pack of 3, was £4.50 as well. Really great value. I love Primark. I'm like, what on earth is the point in buying designer when you've got Primark? I'm sorry, I don't get it. I also went to Waterstones, and I didn't buy any books. I did want to talk about the books that I saw and I'm interested in, and I wanted to share those titles with you, because when I go book shopping, I do obviously have like specific titles in mind sometimes when I'm interested in like a series or a writer, but I do like to go and quite simply almost blind pick a book, like look at the cover, read the blurb, if I find it interesting then I get it. That's how I've always bought books, and I think that's a really good way of finding what you personally like rather than following what's on the internet. So I do that a lot, like the majority of the time I get my books that way, organically I would like to call it. So I'm going to share pictures of books that I found interesting. This first one is by Kate Morton and it's called Homecoming. The cover was gorgeous, like I picked it up and it just instantly stood out to me. And I'm just going to read the blurb to you.
This is a really long preview in the Goodreads
thing. So I'm only going to read part of it because it's almost like it explains the full story, but I recognise a few of these sentences that I read in Waterstones. Adelaide Hills, Christmas Eve, 1959. At the end of a scorching hot day, beside a creek on the grounds of a grand and mysterious mansion, a local delivery man makes a terrible discovery. A police investigation is called and the town of Tambilla becomes embroiled in one of the most shocking and perplexing murder cases in history of South Australia. 60 years later, Jess is a journalist in search of a story. Having lived and worked in London for almost 20 years, she now finds herself laid off from her full-time job and struggling to make ends meet. A phone call out of nowhere summons her back to Sydney, where her beloved grandma, Nora, who raised Jess when her mother could not, has suffered a fall and has been raced to the hospital. Nora has always been a vibrant and strong presence, decisive, encouraging, and young despite her years. And it goes on like a lot more, but I don't want to... I just think it might give some bit away. So that looked really good. It really stood out to me, and I think I'm probably going to buy it.
I really wish I did, but I don't have any money.
I also saw this book from the same author that wrote A Little Life. I haven't read A Little Life. Probably will in my lifetime, but I don't know when because I know it's very, very hard. This book is called To Paradise, and I'll also find a blurb to read that to you. In an alternate version of 1893 America, New York is part of the Free States, where people may live and love as they please, or so it seems. In 1993, Manhattan besieged by the AIDS epidemic, a young Hawaiian man lives with his much older, wealthier partner, hiding his troubled childhood and the fate of his father. In 2093, in a world torn apart by plagues and governed by totalitarian rule, a powerful scientist's damaged granddaughter tries to navigate life without him and solve the mystery of her husband's disappearance. What unites these characters and these Americans are their reckonings with the qualities that make us human: fear, love, shame, loneliness, and the longing to find a place in an earthly paradise. So that sounds really, really interesting. I'm excited to look at that further. I also picked up a book by Stephen King. I'm terrified to read horror and I don't necessarily want to, but I know that a lot of people have said that some of his books lately, they're not really horror, it's more just like a psychological thriller, which is fine. So I would read something like that, but it's very hard to know exactly what you're picking up until you read it without looking on the internet and getting spoilers. The blurb says, a solitary finger pokes out of a drain, novelty teeth turn predatory, the Nevada desert swallows a Cadillac, meanwhile the legend of Castle Rock returns and grows on you. What does it all mean? What else could it mean? Stephen King is here with a powerful collection of stories, a vast, many-chambered cave of a volume. The long reach of Stephen King's imagination will take you on a roller coaster to places you've never been before. You will lose sleep. But King, writing to beat the devil, will do your daydreaming for you. I'm not sure if I'm going to read that. We will see. I also picked up this book from Brandon Sanderson quite simply because I know a floppy book when I see it. I don't have to pick it up to know it's floppy, I just know it. And I saw this book and I was like, that's one heck of a floppy book. And I even did a video to show you because it's amazing, and the illustrations on the inside, stunning, absolutely stunning. I also picked up V.A. Schwab's The Fragile Threads of Power. That looks really interesting. Book by Joe Hill that I think might also be, it could be a horror. I'm a little bit
concerned about it.
But I read the back and I was like, ooh, that's interesting. So I'm thinking, if I read the back and it sounds good, I should probably just read it and see how it goes. And if it gets too scary, then just leave it. Put it in the freezer like Joey. So it says, strap on your seatbelt. Charlie Manx has the coolest car, a 1939 Rolls-Royce Wraith. All the kids love it, especially its N0S4A2 vanity plate. Coolest of all is when they get to ride in it down the street and far away. Goodbye home, goodbye family. There's no returning once you've ridden in that Rolls-Royce Wraith. Those kids are Charlie's children now, except for Vic McQueen. She's the only one who ever got away. Now all grown up with a son of her own, Charlie Manx is just a bad memory. Something to be forgotten, but Charlie never forgets.
Not ever.
And now, 25 years later, he's got his sights on Vic's young boy. He's going to make sure a McQueen will be with him forever. And then it says, it's going to be a bumpy ride.
I think I do actually want to read this.
It looks really good, and if a story captivates me in the blurb, I need to check it out, because like as a writer myself, I've like thrown together like mock blurbs and stuff for my own books, and I know the effort it takes to put a good blurb together, so I'm like, let's just try it and see how it goes. Another book, the cover really interested me. It's called The Book of Goose. It's a really beautiful cover, to be honest. It just really intrigued me. I've never seen anything like it. It says, Fabine is dead. Her childhood best friend Agnes receives the news in America, far from the French countryside where the two girls were raised. The place that Fabine helped Agnes escape 10 years ago. Now Agnes is free to tell her story. As children in a war-ravaged backwater town, they built a private world invisible to everyone but themselves, until Fabine hatched the plan that would change everything, launching Agnes into an epic trajectory through fame, torture and terrible loss.
Just sounds good. Just sounds interesting.
Daily Mail called it beguiling, a shimmering, unsettling tale of exploitation and manipulation. And The Guardian said, haunting and strange, Lee has made her style her own, which is really, really interesting. Just all of these books are different, and I want to check them out. Also picked up an interesting book with a very fancy, well, it's not a fancy front cover, but it's got a taste to Berlin Noir by Philip Kerr. Ex-policeman Bernie Gunther thought he'd seen everything on the streets of 1930s Berlin, but then he went freelance, and each case he tackled sucked him further into the grisly excesses of Nazi subculture. And even after the war, amidst the decayed imperial splendor of Vienna, Bernie uncovered a legacy that made the wartime atrocities look lily white in comparison. Interesting. And then I picked up this beautiful book with a lovely cover, and it's Family Lexicon by Natalia Ginsberg. There was some brilliant reviews of it in the back. Ginsberg gives us a new template of the female voice and an idea of what it might sound like. That sounded great, like really, really great. So I'm very curious about that. Oh dear me. I'm utterly entranced by Ginsberg. I don't like saying that name. Style, her mysterious directness, her sultry ability to lay things bare that never feels contrived or cold, only necessary, honest and clear. Yep, sounds really good to me. Also, I picked up a classic by Theodore Travotsky. What is with me? I used to be able to say this guy's name and now I can't. It's a hard surname. That Russian guy that everyone knows about. He wrote a book called Demons. Again, I'll insert the blurb. It looks really interesting if you want to pause it and read it. The top sentence really caught my eye. Whoever conquers pain and fear, he himself will be God. Very different, very unique.
Cool.
I'm interested. So those were books that I saw in Waterstones and I thought they all looked amazing. I wish I could have bought all of them, but I think I'll probably add them to my Amazon wish list and get them at a later time. And again, I'll link my wish list below so that you can also add it to yours if you like. I had a great time in Waterstones. I didn't want to leave. It also had a cafe in it because we went to the Metro Centre in Newcastle to see Dune, and the shopping centre is great. They had a cafe in there. I didn't sit in the cafe, but next time I probably will.
I mean, next time I'll probably be in there all day.
It was just so nice. I loved it. I had a great time.
I just didn't want to leave. The smell of that place is divine. Anyway.
I'm getting off track. Dune Part 2. Wow, it was quite an experience because we saw it at IMAX. We got to sit in the VIP seats where you can adjust your seat and have the tray on side, and it was really interesting. I think if you enjoyed Dune Part 1, then you should definitely see Dune Part 2 because as the story continues it just gets better and better in my opinion. And also if you're the type of person that really enjoys an intense, slightly movie when it comes to science fiction, and I think you'll really like it because it was definitely darker than the first one, but not too much. It was a comfortable progression from the first movie, if that makes sense. I'm not going to give any spoilers because no one wants that, and the actors were just fantastic. It was a long movie. I think it was 2 hours 45, so it's very, very long. There's a lot more world building in this one, so if you enjoy that, that's really great. You learn a little bit more about the Bene Gesserit, is that what they're called? And the Emperor, you learn about him, and there's just some great actors, as you know, Timothée Chalamet, Zendaya, Florence, I can't remember her surname, but you know who I mean. She was really good too. The only complaint I have about the entire experience, and it's nothing to do with the movie, it was the fact that
the IMAX cinema was just a bit too loud.
You know when if you plug in an amp, you turn it right up, you start playing music, but it's so loud that the music is distorted. It was almost like that at the high parts, not the high parts, at the louder parts of the movie. So that kind of took me out of the movie a few times, but I still really enjoyed it. Hello, to you it doesn't look like much has changed, but I went to go and edit part of this video and I realised that this little section was out of focus. So here we are. A couple of things have changed. I have a different mug, 2 different candles. I like to switch them around, but it is the same day. But other than that, the experience was brilliant. I loved the film. The actors were fantastic, and I definitely recommend that you go and see it, especially if you enjoyed Dune Part 1, because it's just a great carry on from the story. All in all, I was just saying that I had a really good time because I went to Primark and Waterstones in the same day. Now if that's something that you want me to do again, and I'll actually film my experience and do shopping in Waterstones as well as Primark, then let me know, because I can definitely do that, because I'm pretty sure loads would love to see that experience of shopping in Primark, shopping in Waterstones, same day, lots of goodies at the end of the day. So I can definitely do that if you want to see that. If you don't want to see it, tell me, it's fine, don't worry about it. There's no hard feelings on this channel. So yeah, I had an amazing time, and I hope you don't mind that I decided to share this, because it was just such a good day. I wanted to talk about it and share my experience, because June Part 2 is all the rage right now, and if we can combine that with books and Primark, amazing, amazing. Overall, one of the best days ever. I love you guys, and I hope you enjoyed this different video, because I really enjoyed talking about it. The incredible titles I saw in Waterstones, the experience. Oh yeah, I'm definitely going to be doing book shopping videos, by the way, where I actually take you book shopping, and if you just want to see that rather than going into Primark at the same day, that's completely fine. But I want to tell you know that those videos are coming, so if you're new, subscribe, because those videos will be coming as soon as I can get them out. And yeah, I love you. I really hope that you've enjoyed this. I hope you stick around, and I will hopefully see you in my next video. Bye bye.
So we're going to talk about words.
Can I even get this in the right order?
Oh gosh, why am I so tired?